Welcome to Black Man's Corner. I'm JowÉ, your animated, keeping it real guide towards a different, if not heightened perspective on current events, both nationally and globally, socially, politically, and historically, as well as sports and entertainment. Content warning. If you haven't been vaccinated yet and there is no religious, no medical, no health reason for not being vaccinated, your IQ is in question in terms of your ability to comprehend the content of this video. Oh, and you're selfish too. We can test your IQ now, though. Maybe I'm wrong. Repeat after me. Duh. Now, if saying duh was uncomfortable for you, imagining hearing you say it wouldn't be comfortable for me. Because you weren't smart enough to not repeat it, the rest of this video may be well beyond your intellectual reach, though perhaps you'll surprise yourself by refusing to be outfoxed any longer. Topic: the 70s classic song, The Pinocchio Theory by Bootsy Collins, a member of one of the forerunners of American gangster rap, Parliament, featured the lyrics, "If you fake the funk, your nose is sure to grow." Of course, if you pass the earlier duh test, you know this Parliament is not the British or Canadian Parliament. Come on, this is George Clinton's Parliament. You know, the make my funk a P-funk, I want to get funked up, I want the bomb, you get the point. That Parliament. However, don't get it twisted, especially if you are lit or lifted as a result from inhaling or imbibing. Imbibing is drinking. The Pinocchio Theory title deceivingly hints that the song is about the consequences of lying. The song ain't about that. Though this, that, and other things will be unpacked within this video. Throughout this video, you may convince yourself that you are somehow imagining me mic dropping. You aren't imagining it. I drop it often enough that once I was advised to change my name to Michael Drop. I'm not lying, Jack or Jill. Preferring to call it really exaggerating because I'm as real as the good angel on one of your shoulders trying to counter the venomous visions entering your mind from the bad angel on the opposite shoulder. Feeling me yet? For example, you better not have said no. Did you catch the recent special celebrating the hit show Friends? Were you aware that the infamous Fox channel thoroughly exploited both the Black-themed TV shows In Living Color and Living Single for daring to imply that Black Americans are living anything other than an American nightmare? Ironically, it was these shows which helped the Fox channel rise in the ratings during their formative years of programming. The Fox network you know now had already proven that Black lives didn't matter to them outside of the context of using them until they used us up. Until they used me up. So, that white friend, neighbor, or colleague who chooses to only watch Fox News is probably only as friendly, neighborly, and collegial as Fox News has manipulated them to be. Yes, the same Fox News that earlier was anti-vax, but now is spewing pro-vaccination rhetoric. I try not to use profanity, but that is really foxed up. Oddly, one of the few Black men that Fox News occasionally features, Larry Elder, is comfortable enough to run for governor of California as a result of an attempted recall of current Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom. Caitlyn Jenner is also planning on running, though probably not as successfully as she once ran as a decathlete. Yes, a Black man, often questioned about his Black consciousness, is running against a former decathlete-winning white transgender rights activist, amongst others. The black Republican Larry Elder, considered an Uncle Tom by many, and Caitlyn Jenner, the transgender Republican, considered no less a sellout to a political party that has done nothing significant for the LGBTQ community, will both probably support a twice impeached, insurrection-inducing president, one willing to sacrifice his vice president and various other lawmakers to avoid losing power, and more so, avoid a long-term stay in prison, and any responsibility for wrongdoing while protected by his elected minions, the GOP, also known as the Good Old Party, Good Old Boys. Their platform currently is also featuring the slightly smaller but no less dangerous lie about critical race theory, which endeavors to teach American children to interpret history cautiously, more so as his story, not theirs, honestly painting a certain type of white folk, not all whites, as lacking an ethical compass, like the white woman whose white lie led to the brutal murder of Emmett Till, or the Republican Party going to any lengths to protect their fright privilege. So continue to pay attention to the orange-haired pimp with little hands and tiny feet, or you may miss him getting played, if not pimped, himself. His 3 Supreme Court justice appointments, for example, voted against supporting any of his self-serving antics, like election fraud and, ironically, Obamacare. Topic. It's been a week or so since ESPN's usually smooth-talking StephenA lost his way while speaking on topics outside of sports and race, where he is quite adept. He had mentioned Shohei Ohtani is harming baseball because he doesn't speak English on the same day he mocked a Nigerian athlete's name. Uncool. But we are all still in school, where a mistake is an educational tool. At least that's my rule. It brought to mind how easily, within all subcultures, we mock names, nickname, cast blame, with no shame. It's lame, but we do it all the same. Yes, we do what we do until we don't. After all, no one mocks whites for vanilla names like Johnson, Jones, or even StephenA's own inherited slave name, Smith. Topic. The USA's recent exit of Afghanistan, abandoning their interpreters, seemingly only temporarily now that it appears the USA is altering its policy, nonetheless leaving the interpreters vulnerable to reprisal at the hands of the Taliban, isn't a global first. During the so-called American Indian Wars, Native American scouts were treated similarly. Not an easy word to say. Similar, you get the point. After having done what some considered traitorous work, as were Negro soldiers after World War I and II, the Korean and Vietnam Wars, deployed to fight for a country with no qualms about treating them unjustly, even calling them that word which rhymes with bigger and trigger, only dressed up as a euphemistic N-word. It's almost enough to make me want to holler and throw up both my hands. Almost. Anyway, you'll have an opportunity to see me again, hopefully sooner than later. After all, though it is named Black Man's Corner, you are always welcome to come hang out. Please take a moment to like my channel. Power to the people.